I built my 1 Series BMW into a drift car overnight. I'm going to show you how I did it. This, I won't lie, this is a little bit of clickbait, but what I've been doing is I've been building some spreadsheets of the different levels that I want to take the 1 Series as a drift car. I wanted to do these spreadsheets to show you guys like the amount of money and time that gets invested into these cars. I want to start off by showcasing this first sheet here, which is the entry level stuff. This contains the little things that I know that I need in order to keep the car solid and make sure that everything is just good to go for when I'm continually doing events. Now, there's going to be some things you don't see in here, some things you may be thinking, oh, why don't you have that? Why don't you have this? And my answer to that is either it's basic maintenance, which I include in just normal everyday cost of driving the car, or it's something that's in a different list that I don't deem as necessary for this stage of racing. And they're upgrades as well too. They're not just a simple OEM replacement. These are like legitimate upgrades to the car itself. So let's go through a couple of these and let's get into the list. First thing that we're looking at, windshield pump. Now, this in particular is something that's just not working on the car right now. And since it's still my daily driver, I need this because it rains a decent amount in Texas and just having a clean windshield is safe. Toe straps, I have 2. Having a toe strap is very important when you're going to drift events because if for whatever reason, something breaks, something doesn't go right, or you just need to get helped with a debeaded tire or flat tire for whatever reason, having something that people can pull the car with, basically get a strap on the car, is going to be very important. So I put 2 on here so that I have 1 for the front and 1 for the rear. You never know what position you're going to be ending up in, and it just makes it a lot easier for people to get either side. Kind of a big one. It is a little bit controversial amongst BMW owners or people who don't use studs on their car. And this is very common in certain German cars. And when you are someone who is doing racing, you convert it to bolts to studs conversion because it makes it easier to put the wheel on. On top of that, it's a lot safer when you're like taking wheels off, putting them back on. And to keep in mind with this is the fact that I will need to constantly be changing the rear wheels, and having something that I can just put the wheel on, put the bolts in, call it a day, makes it safer for me, and knowing that I'm not going to have any issues. Then we have some front and rear pads. The pads are EBC Reds, so these are upgraded pads, so they will have a more aggressive bite. Now, this is going to be more for track related things, but because of what my car is currently doing, I need a pad that's going to be able to withstand the stuff and also not make a ton of brake dust. So obviously upgraded front and rear rotors, going to a variation of things. I don't like having drilled rotors. They're just more prone to cracking. So I really try to stick with a slotted rotor as best I can with any vehicle that I have. This is something that I found out. There's a thing called a parking brake actuator. And the nice thing about this is this helps with better engagement in your parking brake. But if you're doing things with drifting, you get more response out of it. This is something that ECS and Turner Motorsports have, and I found it through like an ECS tuning video, and I was like, this is actually kind of cool. I'm gonna do a little bit more research on that one and kind of see what it does, but that would be something later down the line. Right now, I'm not fully worried about doing anything on the car, and to be honest, I probably would be going to a hydro and not relying on my car handbrake too much right now. I want to practice that on my actual sim before I do anything else. Steel brake lines, I mean, those are just nice to have. With any car that you are going to do anything slightly, even if you only do 1 track event a year, having steel brake lines is so nice. They are way better. You don't have to worry about them stretching like normal brake lines on a car, and they are just built for higher PSI, so you get more responsiveness out of your braking and more stability behind it. The big one here, the really set things off, are the open diff plate. You can get these plates that instead of like putting a bunch of random metal or like using a bunch of wire feed from a welder and filling in all the holes, you get these plates and then you weld in the plates so that basically replicate what an LSD would do. So it's a lot better for drifting and stuff like that. I don't want to do that right away because I'm still like, I drive this a lot. So there's a sense of like, I would like to have a little bit of drivability with it. So who knows, maybe I'll find a cheap E90 diff and put the plates in that and throw that in the car, you know, every drift event and just kind of go from there. Who knows? Well, maybe we'll do that. I've talked about about this before. I talked about this in my drifting video a little bit. I need to upgrade the fuel pump and the injectors because I'm running E85. If you don't know, I have an Advanced Fuel Dynamics ProFlex Commander on my car, which allows me to run any blend of 93 and E85. But I've been running E85 on my cars because instead of me spending like 55, 60 bucks at the fill up, I'm spending $32 on a full tank of gas. Upgrading the fuel pump, it's not getting a lot of stress on it. And then upgrading the injectors. I've also in the drifting video, I talked about this. When you see me in drift, you see that I kind of like lose power. I need to get better injectors that just have a higher duty cycle and then get the car tuned for that. That's really what needs to happen. And then I shouldn't have any issues past that point. Next is the Mini Mantis kit. Now, I was thinking that maybe I would save this for, you know, once I start doing competitions and doing like tandems more seriously. However, I think having that for the cost of the product and what you're getting out of it, I personally think it would be worth it. Open lugs that are blue. I mean, come on. I love blue. What else do you want from me? Especially if I'm doing the bolts to studs conversion. Yeah, I'm going to be using those. Extra wheel set. I found a set of OEM BMW wheels that are close to the specs that I have right now. They're just good to have as an extra set of rear wheels. For starting off and getting like comfortable with like drifting and stuff, I would rock my stock front wheels and then just have 2 sets of rears so that I can get more out of the car. And then yeah, extra tires. Tire Streets is really good for someone who's starting out. They have a deal. You buy 3 tires, you get 1 free. And like I said, this is just for the spare set of wheels. And then when I need more, I can just grab those. Yeah, and I mean, you're looking at just with this and not including any extra maintenance and stuff like that. I mean, you're looking at almost $4,000, which is a lot of money. When you consider how expensive drifting can get, this is not terribly wrong. Just to give you a preview of the Pro Spec stuff, I'm already at $15,000. It's a huge step up. To be honest, not all of these I need to do. I could literally just buy a toe strap and an extra set of tires and go to an event. These are some things to consider. This is what I feel that I would need just to kind of get things going and just feel comfortable knowing that I can get started at drifting. Yeah, I'm excited to get into drifting a bit more, and this is stuff that I'm planning to kind of work on going into the next year. I'm really excited about it. So if you guys like this video, hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, leave a comment what else you want to see on the channel, and I will see you guys tomorrow.